Oh. Who is there more on this page? How many people are there? I see one of two pages. Is that correct? Oh, look. Can I go to the side, you think?
I think so.
Oh, there's more people even.
No, Lisa is saying.
No. Rosa. See, there's more.
Oh, wow.
There's more people. I don't know how many are in there. There's 20. Oh, there's 29 people in. Oh, good. All right. Hi, people. Welcome to the opening seminar of the App Challenge month. First question for you. Do you guys maybe have your handout with you, or are you able to read along the handout? Yeah, good, Danko. I see you. So basically today's or this month's challenge is a two-part challenge. So we've got the abdominal challenge, and we've to create abdominals and to get a 6-pack or a 4-pack or an 8-pack, we need to talk about food. 25 people, basically everybody you see out there, 25% of how they look is training. So if you see a bodybuilder or someone really lean and really cut, 25% of how they look is training. The other 75% is diet, food. Basically, the abs are made in the kitchen and not at the gym. So that's why we have two parts in this. Can you see? Two parts of this challenge. The first one being the abs, and the second part being the actual dieting. For you all, we have 3 levels to work with. Level 1 is the 4-pack starter pack. Basically, this consists of doing the exercises, the abdominal exercises we are going to give you each week, and cutting some sort of food from your diet. Now, the second level, which is a little bit more difficult, but most likely for all of you really, really doable, will be the 6-pack pro level, so level 2. This is going to be, you're going to do the abdominal workouts every day, but you're going to really, really look at your diet, and we're going to try and eyeball measure our food. And then we've got level 3, and level 3 might be the hardest one, and this is basically for the diehards, the 8-pack diehard level. Here you do all the abdominal exercises, but you're going to measure your food using MyFitnessPal, basically, and a weighing scale. So here you're going to measure, calculate all the food you make, bake, and take, and you're going to put it on FitnessPal so you can really, really count your calories. This one is probably the most effective way, but it's also the most difficult way. So if you've got the time, which a lot of you most likely have now, I suggest you go for at least level 2, but maybe even try level 3. It will be good fun, and you're going to learn a lot about food intake, yeah? So we're going to start with what are we going to work out on, or what are we going to work on? We're going to work on the abdominals. The abdominal section is basically consisted of multi-layered muscles. The first one, these go straight down the middle. So the first one going straight through the middle over here is the rectus abdominis. It's the biggest muscle group of the abdominals we have. It's the one you see. It's the 4-pack, the 6-pack, the 8-pack. Basically, you can cut it in half. You got the upper part and you got the lower part. The upper part is the part you will see the first. That's called the 4-pack. And the lower part, that's the one you will see the last. It's the most difficult to get, but if you can eventually get it, it's really amazing to see. Then we have the sides, the obliques. These are positioned on the left and right side here. And here is the first layer that comes into play. You've got the external obliques, which are on the outsides, and then you have the internal obliques, which are positioned underneath the external obliques. So this is the second layer. And then we have the final layer, and that is the transverse abdominis. This one is basically the one that is underneath the obliques and the rectus abdominis, and this one controls breathing and abdominal or core control. So it's also the one you will not be able to see, but it's really, really important to train. That's what we're going to work on, yeah? Now, we're going to work on these by doing exercises. We're going to put these on SugarWatt on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. with Sunday being a rest day. Now you guys are all CrossFitters. Nina, if you could put your phone on mute, that would be amazing.
Oh, okay, I was using headphones. I wasn't talking. Didn't know it's creating
I
noise.
know.
Let me take out.
It's okay. It's okay. Just, if you put it on mute, we'll be fine. Right. So we're going to use a different kind of workout. You guys are all used to CrossFit. CrossFit being a really good way to train our bodies. But creating abdominals or creating a six-pack is a aesthetic work. Basically, it's bodybuilding. Now, we're not going to be injecting stuff. We're not going to be doing heavyweight lifting like you see in the movies. We're not going to try to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, but we're going to take some sort of type of workout. So we're going to combine a bit of fitness style workouts with CrossFit style workouts. So you're still going to be doing EMOMs. You're still going to be doing Tabatas, but we're also going to be doing sets and repetitions, not for time, but for quality. All right, so we're going to combine those. Now, what these workouts and exercises will be, you can see every day on Sugar What. So I really, really recommend you do them every day, because if you forget, and preferably do them every morning. They usually take about 10 to 15 minutes. So as soon as you wake up, get out of bed, do your abdominal exercises, make it into a routine before you do your breakfast and everything else. Yeah, so try to make it a routine that you wake up, do your abdominal exercises, look them up at Sugar What, and then start your day. You will have a good start, you have a fresh start, and you feel really alive. As at the same time, you will be creating at least a 4 or 6 pack. All right. Now we're going to move towards the food section of this challenge, or of this this month, basically. And we've got 3 sections: learning what to eat, learning how to eat, and maybe even use supplements. And we're going to start with the first part, learning what to eat. Now, learning what to eat is all about the proteins, or basically what we call as macros. The macros consisting of the carbohydrates, the protein, and fats. Let's start with protein. Now, the protein is basically a building macro used for muscle repair and muscle endurance, and basically growing the muscle. It's like the building brick of the body. We've got 2 ways. We've got 2 proteins. We've got complete proteins and incomplete proteins. Now, when we take a protein, the body absorbs it and turns it into amino acids. Okay, and amino acids have a lot of functions, and a couple of them is used to grow or repair muscle. 11 of these, we've got 20 in total. 11 of these amino acids are made by the body itself, but 9 we can only get from food. Now, these 9 we call essential amino acids, or essential proteins. These 9, if a protein has all 9 of these amino acids, we call it a complete protein. If the protein doesn't have all 9, maybe it has 4 or 5 of these essential amino acids, we call it an incomplete protein. Now, most likely, there's a couple of you who are vegetarian or vegan. So I know that, Claudia, for you, for the vegetarians or vegans, it's difficult to find a food or a product that is a complete protein. For the most complete proteins are found in meat, and basically there's this rule: if it breathes or if it bleeds, it's a complete protein. So think about chicken, fish, red meat, and stuff like that. All right. Now, there's a couple of options for vegetarians or vegans to get complete proteins, or combine certain meals to create that complete protein meal, right? So we've got quinoa, beans, and soya, for example, which are complete proteins. If you don't have options to that, you can combine some other foods to create that complete meal, yeah? Then we're gonna move on to carbohydrates. This is the main energy source for the body. We work with 2 energy sources, carbohydrates and fat. Fat being the slower one, carbohydrates being the fast energy source. Carbohydrates exist of fiber, starch, and sugar. Sugar being the one we want to cut out of the diet. Now, there's a lot of food out there with sugar in it. Processed food most of the time. That is one of the foods we want to leave behind in this challenge. So we're going to focus on fibers and on starch. Is it on the floor again? Oh no, it's under here. So for the carbohydrates, we've got fruits, we've got sweet potatoes, quinoa, we've got rice and stuff like that. Now, if you start shopping, try to look at the back of the package to see how much of what is in there and try to measure it out with your entire diet for the day. Now, for the proteins, back to proteins, we want to have about 2 grams of proteins per kilogram of body weight. So for example, I weigh about 100 kilograms. That means I want to eat about 200 grams of protein a day. For carbohydrates, this is between 3 and 4 grams of carbohydrates per kilogram. So that means I need to eat between 300 and 400 grams of carbohydrates a day. Then we've got fats. Now, for the fats, we have a couple of fats that are good and we have a couple of fats that are bad. We've got monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats, which are really, really good. Think about omega-3s, for example. These are good for your heart and they really are good for your cholesterol. Then we have trans fats and we have saturated fats. Now, saturated fats are not that good, but they're not bad either. You want to have about 10% of your fat intake. That is the maximum you want to have of saturated fats, but preferably a bit lower. Now, trans fats are the ones you want to lose at all. So when you look, when you're shopping, look at the back if there's trans fats in it. If there's trans fats in it, try to find another source of fat. Okay, trans fats are really dangerous for your health, especially in high intake. They can cause heart attacks and strokes and are really, really bad for your cholesterol since they raise the bad cholesterol level and lower the healthy cholesterol level. Sasha, you got a question?
Yeah, how are they called, these trans fats in Dutch?
Trans fats, trans fat.
So it's written the same?
Basically the same, with fat being fat the Dutch way. So F-E-T instead of F-A-T.
Okay.
But basically written the same.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Yeah. Most trans fats you can find in candy and ice cream and stuff like that. Yeah, stuff you buy, some form of processed food with a lot of sugar in it, and usually, well, I don't think anymore, but you used to have them at the, how you call it, where you buy McDonald's and stuff like that, you know, fast food. A lot of fast food uses trans fats. So try to, yeah, and potato chips as well, yeah? So try to lose trans fats. But if you're eating fat, you want to have about 1 gram of fat per kilogram of body weight. All right. So for me, again, 100 kilograms, I want to have 200 grams of protein, 300 to 400 grams of carbohydrates, and 100 grams of fat. Yeah. We're going to look a little bit more into detail later on. Then we want to have enough fiber. So fiber being vegetables. Vegetables will be most likely your main source of food during this challenge. You can eat a lot of vegetables, get a lot of fiber in, and that way you can lower your carbohydrate intake. Yeah, vegetables give you a lot of fiber, give a lot of energy. You don't have to eat a lot of rice or potatoes to get your energy up, because you get a lot of energy from the vegetables. Now for the women, you want to have about between 4 to 6 hand-sized. So basically you grab your hand, grab some vegetables, pick it up, put it in a pan. You do that 4 to 6 times for the women, and you do it between 6 to 8 times for the men. That's the amount of vegetables you want to have each day. Yeah. Then learning how to eat. And we're going to go back to the proteins, the carbohydrates, and the fats in a bit. Okay. We're going to go to learning how to eat. This might even be the most important thing. You want to have a proper diet. Dieting is everything, and we can create either a surplus, so we're bulking, or we create a cut, which is a deficit, depending on what your goal is. Now, if your goal is to get bigger and create more muscle and get stronger and maybe even get a stronger core, you want to be bulking, meaning you create a surplus of calories. basically everybody has a maintenance level of calorie intake that you want to have as a threshold. For me, that means I eat about 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day. That's my daily intake, which I need to maintain muscle, to stay on this body weight, and to be able to work, walk around, and to be able to live my daily life. Basically your maintenance level is all dependent on how old you are, how heavy you are, how tall you are, and what kind of work you do. For example, if you have a desk job and you're a smaller person with not a lot of body weight, so you use a little less energy than most people, your maintenance level of your calorie intake a day will most likely be a lot lower for someone that is heavier, taller, younger, with more muscles, and has, for example, a job where they have to move around a lot. Yeah. Every step you take, every move you make, this sounds like a song. I'll be there for you. Yeah, it's a song. But stepping into the shower, picking up a glass of water, everything costs energy. And your body needs to generate energy. And in order to generate energy, it burns calories. And in order to burn calories, we need to intake calories. And it's up to you guys to figure out your maintenance level, and we're going to talk about that in a bit, how to get there, and then make sure you get your maintenance level. And if you want to bulk, and that's why, or maybe do a cut, you either eat more or you eat less than your maintenance level. Now, for most of you, so we're going to talk about cutting. For most of you, getting leaner, and that's why you're doing the challenge. You want to show the abdominals, you want to show that six-pack, which means we need to get leaner. To get leaner, we need to eat less than our maintenance level. If we eat less than our maintenance level, our body will start, needs energy, basically, because we still do the same things. Because our body needs energy, it will start using the reserves as an energy source. Now, the reserves basically is the fat that our body has stored in case of need. So for example, you get stranded on an island and there's nothing to eat, your body will start using those fat reserves to be able to walk, move, and do things. Eventually, those reserves are up, they're gone, they're used, and they will be removed from your body. And what happens is that you get toned down and slimmer. And instead of fat being over your muscles, the skin will get over your muscles, the fat will be gone, and you start seeing the muscles. So we basically, if we do this in daily life, we call this cutting or creating a calorie deficit in our diet. For most of us, this is the most important part. Most women eat between, or their maintenance level is between 16 and 2,400 calories a day. And if you want to create a cut, that means you need to eat less than your maintenance level, preferably with at least 150 calories less. So for example, if you need to eat 2,000 calories a day, you want to eat around 1,850. That means you eat 150 calories less, creating a deficit and getting into that mode where your body starts burning the reserves, starts burning fat, and you get leaner. The bigger of a deficit we create, the faster we'll get lean, because the body needs to use more of those reserves. The thing is, though, we don't want to create too much of a deficit, otherwise your body will go in a survival mode and it will start burning muscle to reduce the energy output, and it will start storing the food you intake as a fat supply, because fat gives us the most energy. Fat gives more energy than carbohydrates. So in order to move around a bit longer in survival mode, we create more fat, and we create a fatty layer around the muscles. So you never want to go below 500 calorie deficit, all right? So that's one of the most important things to do. Yeah, so you want to create a deficit. To calculate the deficit, we have two options. Basically, if you're doing the level 2, you go to, let me show you guys. You go to precision nutrition. Yeah, it's a calorie, macro, and portion guide. And what you do here is you fill out, I'm going to show you. I hope you guys can see, but you can fill out your height, your weight, if you're a male or female, your age, and your activity level and what you eat. Now, what this does then is that it's going to calculate the total amount of calories you need to eat each day to have a maintenance level, to stay steady. And then from there on out, you can decide how much weight you want to lose, how quickly, and it will calculate what you got to eat. So this is our example. We have Heidi. Heidi is 51 years old, female. She weighs about 56 kilograms and she is 1.70 m. She eats about 5 meals a day. And her goal is a body recomposition. Oh, and she's a vegetarian as well. So that when you enter your vegetarian or maybe even vegan, the program will how you say it? Houd er rekening mee. We'll think about you. Then what it will do is it will calculate, let's see if you guys can see, how much you have to eat. So it will show you how much gram of everything you have to eat, or you can eyeball size it as well. So for example, it says you need 5 palm-sized portions. So a palm-sized portion is the inside of your hand, or 148 grams of protein per day. It goes on by carbohydrates, vegetables, and fats. This is one of the ways to calculate what you need to eat and get into that deficit. Yeah. The other way is to actually calculate it yourself. You have the app MyFitnessPal, and MyFitnessPal calculates. You can fill in your maintenance level again by calculating it first, then create your deficit, and then what you do at home is you weigh your foods. So for example, you're going to eat 100 grams of rice, 100 grams of chicken, and 200 grams of vegetables. You put it all in MyFitnessPal, and it will calculate how much of the macros you got in, you eaten, and then how much you have left for the day. Yeah. One of the other important things with this diet is that you want to eat less, but you want to eat more often. So instead of eating 3 big meals, you want to eat about 6 to 8 times and smaller meals. Yeah, so you want to have breakfast. Breakfast is really important. Try to get some complex carbohydrates in your breakfast with protein. After that, you want to have a pre-lunch snack. Try to make it healthy. So no Kit Kats, no Snickers, but try to have a little cracker with maybe a little bit of chicken, or after week 1, we can have some fruits, or you could make a vegetable salad or something like that. And you're gonna have lunch, you're gonna have your after lunch snack, then you're gonna have dinner, and depending if you work out or not, you can have a post-workout or a pre-workout meal and a post-workout meal. And you could even have, depending on if you stay within your thresholds in between your parameters, you could even have a before bed snack, depending on what you want to do. Yeah. Then the second or the third thing that's really important is drink. When we're on a diet, our body tends to burn a lot of carbohydrates. It tends to burn a lot of fat. It uses a lot of energy and reserves from the reserves, and we need to fill it up with water. So we need to drink a lot of water, and we tend to forget that. So for the women, it's at least 2.2 liters of water a day. And for the men, it's about 3 liters of water a day. Now, this can be really difficult. Now, water means water. It doesn't mean tea. It doesn't mean coffee. It doesn't mean soda or something else. It means water. So if you drink your coffee or your tea in the morning and you've drank a cup of tea, this doesn't mean you've drank a cup of water. This means you still need to drink 3 liters or 2.2 liters of water. Now, this can be a little bit difficult for some of you. So one of the tips I really like to do is when I'm dieting, I set an alarm clock about every hour, and I try to drink a glass of water every hour, at least. Yeah. So set an alarm clock for yourself and drink water. Really important. To help with the diet, we need to have high protein intake. This can be difficult to get sometimes, so we could supplement during the diet. Preferably, you do it without supplements. But if you don't see another way, you can take whey protein. This doesn't mean, if you take whey protein, this doesn't mean you can substitute it as a meal. Yeah, I still want you to eat your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner, and your snacks. I don't want you to take a protein shake and think, okay, this was enough. Now I don't need lunch, or now I don't need dinner. That's not how it works. All macros you get from food are always better than the macros you get from your supplements, all right? You always want to try and eat fresh food, fresh vegetables, fresh meat. stuff like that to get your macros in. It's a lot better for the body. It's a lot better for your bowels. Am I saying it correctly? Bowels? For your, I don't know the English word, but basically for your food transport down there. But then if you're working out a lot and you're dieting and you're getting low on protein intake, you can substitute, or you can supplement it with protein, whey protein. Now, because we have a challenge, we have a app challenge and we have the food challenge. The food challenge week 1 means you can't have fruit, you can't have alcohol, you can't have sugar. Now, the no sugar thing and the no alcohol we're doing for 4 weeks. The no fruit we're doing for 1 week. Because we have no sugar, a lot of supplements use sugar or sweetness. So try to find a substitute or a supplement, supplement where there's no sugar in it, okay? Preferably. If there's no other way and you can't find it, you can still use that whey protein with a little bit of carbohydrates in it, but preferably no sugars. Then the next supplement we can use to bulk up, usually we do this when we bulk up, is creatine. Creatine is if you got your muscle, yeah? Think of your muscle as a big swimming pool. There's phosphorus in your muscle and there's creatine in your muscle. Creatine we usually get from fleshy foods like meats. We get from meats. Creatine and phosphorus go together and they create energy in your muscle to move around and to work. And creatine is a really good supplement, I think, but a side effect of creatine is that you retain a lot of water, giving you maybe the idea that you're not losing weight because you're holding extra water. Creatine is really good for you though, but a maximum of 5 to 10 grams a day, not more, not less, but always read the label, okay? And then there's vitamins. Vitamins and omega-3. Omega-3 is healthy fat, which is really, really good for you. Always supplement omega-3 and always, well, you don't have to supplement your vitamins, but I really, really recommend it, especially during a diet where we eat in a deficit and we go in deficit mode. We have the tendency to lose out on vitamins. So especially vitamin C, try to get at least 500 milligrams of vitamin C in every day, and you can build it up to 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Try to get most of it out of your food, but you can supplement it, all right? Then I think if I missed something, are there any questions, by the way? You guys have any questions? Okay, Mariette, first question.
I have those food spring bars.
Yeah.
Can I use it or not?
I think you can, but not as a substitute. You could use it, but for example, that's a good one to use as a pre-workout snack.
But there's sugar in it.
Yeah, how much sugar is in it?
Yeah, not much.
Okay, because you need to have about, if you're dieting, you need at least 60 grams, I think, yeah, 60 grams of carbohydrates for your brains to function and for your organs to function. So if you make sure that you stay at least above the 60 gram and there's a little bit of carbohydrates or sugar in that food spring bar, it's okay to take. Okay. Yeah, but try to stay within the threshold that you took.
And can you eat vegetables unlimited, or also you have to weigh them and put them in your?
Basically, most vegetables you can eat unlimited. Okay. Most vegetables you can eat unlimited, but you'll notice that you'll get full and yeah, you know when you reach your limit on the vegetables. But yeah, basically you can put vegetables in every meal and leave out some of the carbohydrates.
Yeah, okay, but it's more like I snack like carrots and tomatoes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Good snacks. Okay. Any other questions so far?
And Coca-Cola Zero?
Oh, no, I would leave the Coca-Cola Zero. I would try to cut off all sodas from your diet. Yeah. Okay. No snacks, no sugars, no chips, nothing. No, try to eat as minimal amount of processed food as possible. Yeah, so try to eat a lot of fresh food, fresh meat, fresh vegetables, stuff like that. Yeah. Any other questions so far?
What about fruit juices, freshly pressed?
Okay, so the first week you don't want to eat, we're not eating fruit. So the first week we're trying to cut out sugars of a diet to reset the body. And after week 1, so week 2, 3, and 4, we can eat fruit every other day. Now the thing is with fruit is kind of dangerous because fruit has a lot of, we call it fructose. It's a fruit sugar. And sugar, basically sugar in general, fructose, glucose, is a simple carbohydrate. Simple carbohydrates give you the feeling that you're not full. So for example, if you eat a lot of sugar, you get an energy spike. Your energy is really high. You'd be like, okay, I'm good to go. And then after about half an hour, you're getting a bit down, your energy level's low, and you start feeling hungry again. Now, the danger with a fruit juice, even if it's freshly made, is that you want to eat one piece of fruit a day. So 1 apple, 1 banana, 1 pear. And in a fruit juice, you usually squeeze about 3 to 4 pieces of fruit. So you get a lot of sugar in one go. So you're going to have a high energy level. Then you're going to crash, getting a low energy level, and you start feeling hungry again. So preferably, I wouldn't do a fruit juice. I would just try to eat a high fiber fruit and just try to eat a maximum of 2 a day. What you can do is make a combination, vegetable with fruit. So you put in spinach, you put in a bit of, lettuce, bit of broccoli, and then maybe add a banana for a taste. Yeah, so you have your fruit and you have a lot of vegetables. So you still get your fruit for the day. You can still drink it as a snack, but you don't get a lot of sugar in. Yeah?
Okay.
And I saw Antara, you had a question?
Oh yeah, I'm on mute. So if I understand correctly, it doesn't matter if you do it with vegetables. The only tricky part might be to do it with fruits.
Sorry, one more time. So if you do it with vegetables or with fruits?
Yeah, so the tricky part is doing it with fruits because then you have like too many sugars or something.
Oh, with the fruit juices, yeah. Yeah, but you can make the juices with vegetables, definitely. Definitely go for vegetable juices. And then you could add you can add a fruit for the taste, but preferably, and then after week 1. So after week 1. So week 1, we cut all fruit. But after week 1, make vegetable juices with a bit of fruit. That's fine. Just try to keep it at 1 piece. Okay? Any other questions?
I have a question. So does that mean that we also cut out tomatoes in the first week?
No. I know tomatoes are a fruit, but you can eat tomatoes. Tomatoes are good. Yeah, tomatoes are fine. Okay, so who has questions maybe about dieting or calorie intake? Like how much to eat and what to eat and stuff like that.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
You explained that you need to go to a website and put in your height and your age and your weight.
Yeah.
You calculate your calorie input.
Yeah.
Can you also use the scale or the measurements of the Tanita scale at the box?
Yeah. So what you can do is, but you still need to have a calorie calculator basically because I believe on a Tanita, it doesn't say how much calories you need to intake, right? Or does it?
It does.
It does?
Yeah, it does.
So BMI. BMR. Oh, the BMR. Oh, is it? Okay, so then then you can use, if it says on the Talita you need, for example, you need to eat, or it says 2,000, I think it is then you know your calorie intake, you should be good.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can use that one. Any other questions? Anybody else who wants?
I also have a question about carbohydrates. Is it recommendable to only eat carbs during the day but not in the evening? So for example,
there's a couple of discussions going on about that you should not eat before bedtime. I think it depends on the person. Everybody has their own body, which works in their own way. What works for me does not necessarily have to work for you. And it's up to you to figure out what works for you. For me, I eat carbs during the day and I sometimes eat carbs at night as well. Now, the main thing when we say don't eat before bed is that you already had your dinner. And a lot of people tend to take little snacks before they go to bed. These snacks usually consist of cookies during the tea, or these consist of chips when you're watching a movie or a show, or popcorn maybe. and that's something you don't want to take as a snack. Now, if you're eating a cracker with something like chicken fillet, or if you're eating a cracker with hummus or something, you should be fine. Or yogurt maybe even, indeed. So there's also a thing, you've got protein and you've got casein, right? Okay, I don't know if you guys know what casein is, but casein is usually found in starch. I think it's called starch, right? Yogurt is starch, yeah. Casein is found in starch, yogurt, quark, stuff like that, yeah. Casein is a slow protein. You usually don't get slow proteins, but casein takes a lot of time to break down for the body. The body needs a lot of time to break it down, and it also has a slow protein usually gets taken up into the body in between 1 to 2 hours to 3 hours. Casein can take up to 8 hours to take up by the body, to get taken in by the body. So what you usually want is you want high protein meat or meal in the morning and during the day, and you want to take casein before you go to bed. So before yogurt or quark before you go to bed is really, really good, because the casein will give you a lot of protein for your muscles to repair and to build during the night. So casein usually preferably at night or before bed, so as an evening snack instead of as a morning breakfast. Yeah, so preferably yogurt or quark during the evening instead of the morning. Any other questions? Sasha?
Yeah, I have a question about measuring grams of food. Do we do that before we cook it or after?
Always before you cook it. So if you measure, if you're going to start measuring, start using MyFitnessPal as well. So you can write everything down or note everything down, and you can see exactly how many macros you have, and then always measure before you cook your meal. Okay.
Thank you.
Question. All right, well done. Anybody else? Simona, you sleeping? Oh no, you're here. All right, good. Any other questions about maybe calories or cutting or bulking? Does everybody know what to do? Oh, we have a question over here. Oh yeah, so yeah, okay. So Robin, to get back to you, I have the talitas of someone here, and it says the BMR is 1,361 calories. So you have BMR 5,649 kilojoule, that's the energy, and then it says 1,361 calories. Maybe for you, it will most likely be different because you have a lot more muscle mass. The 1,631, so the lower number, that's the daily intake you need to have to maintain your body weight. If you want to bulk, you go up. If you want to create a leaner body, you go down in calories. So for example, do you have the number there? What does it says for you? Yeah, that's okay. It's always.
My BMR is 1964.
Yeah, okay, so 1964 calories. That's your daily intake. If you want to get a leaner body, I would suggest you drop it down by about 200. So go to 1,764 calories a day, for example, yeah?
Okay.
And then from there on, depending on how you feel, you can either lower it even more, but beware, your energy levels will decrease as well. Or if you're feeling a bit, if you're not feeling well, you went up there. If you're not feeling well, you could also increase it a little bit more and go maybe into a 100 calorie deficit. So instead of 1900, go to 1800, yeah?
Okay.
And that basically this counts for everybody. What works for one person does not need to work for another person. Yeah? So if you notice, if you start with a 150 calorie deficit and you start feeling weak and ill, or you have not a lot of energy, or maybe feel nauseous, try to up your intake a little bit. If it goes really well, you still feel good, and you think you can go a little bit faster on the getting leaner, or on the cut, you can also go a bit lower, yeah, and just drop down in calories a bit more. Just try not to drop below the 500 calorie deficit, yeah, that will not be good for your body. Sasha?
These calories should be distributed throughout the whole day.
Yeah, so for example, if I would be, let's say I eat 3,000 calories a day, I want to go into a leaner body, I want to create a leaner body and I want to create a six-pack. For me, I would go to about 2,800, maybe even 2,700 calories a day. And that is during the entire day and night. So 24 hours of eating. Yeah. So you guys got to be careful. There's a couple of ways you can reach your calorie deficit. There's a couple of diets out there. You could go paleo, you could go keto, you could go intermittent fasting, you could go flex dieting. It's up to you what you prefer, and you should try and figure out what works for you. I think that for now, to start off with, is you cut the sugar, you cut your alcohol, and you cut your fruits, and try to eat healthy and fresh. I think if you start with that and you start either eyeballing your portions, so that would be a hand palm of carbohydrates, a hand of protein, and 4 to 6 hands of vegetables. That's eyeballing it basically. Or if you start counting your vegetables, if you start counting your calories and create a deficit of about 200 with no sugar, no alcohol, and fresh food, no processed food, you should be on a really, really good way. And then from there on out, week 2, you guys can add in fruit, and the other weeks, still no alcohol and try to leave the processed food, okay? And I think then you're on a really, really good start for getting a six-pack. Yeah, and do your exercises. Yeah, daily exercises are really, really important. So look at SugarBot and do the abdominal exercises. They usually take between 10 and 50 minutes. And keep doing your normal workout. So join the watts on SugarBot as well, yeah? The abdominal exercises in the morning, and then during the day you could do the normal watts, yeah? You should be good. More questions, maybe? Anybody? Everybody good to go? Well, if there's anything, if you've got any questions during the week, most likely, oh, there we got a question. Antara?
Can we look this recording? Can we look it back? Can we look it up?
Definitely. I think it will be up to tonight or tomorrow, most likely. The recording. Yeah. Oh, the recording will be up tonight and will be up for the entire, I think the entire challenge, most likely. So yeah, you can look it up whenever you want.
On SugarBot then?
On SugarBot, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Week one will most likely for the most of you, depending on how you were eating, will be the most difficult, because your body will be craving sugar. You will have your body will be craving sugar. Try not to give in. Week one, your body needs to get used to your new diet, needs to get used to your new way of eating and living. And after week 2, it will get easier. And week 2, week 3, you will feel like getting a lot of new and extra energy. And you will really, really start to feel getting better. But week 1 is the most difficult. So try not to cave in and help each other out. Yeah. So help each other with your diets. You could send each other recipes, or ask us for recipes, or ask us for help if you think you need it. Yeah. So don't forget, we are also here to help you guys out. If by any chance you've got any questions during the 4-week challenge, you can always give a shout out to me and the other coaches, and we can help you with anything you need help for. Yeah. Other than that,
if we have questions, do we ask you on SugarBot, or
yeah, you could ask us on SugarBot, or you can ask us on Facebook. I don't know if you can send private messages on SugarBot, but you could try. But also, you can also contact us on Facebook. Yeah, I think that's probably the main one. Or yeah, you can also send an email. Yeah. All right, good. I think any questions before we? No more. Oh yeah, Danko.
I'm looking for this app that you mentioned. Yeah, I saw it in the materials and documents, but
which one? Precision Nutrition or MyFitnessPal?
No, we print this. We printed this position. Yeah, this thing. But
the handout.
Yeah, MyFitnessPal app. This is like Under Armour app or something like that.
It's like wait, I'm gonna show you. Okay, well, I'm gonna try and show you MyFitnessPal. Where is it? Here. Okay, so MyFitnessPal looks like that.
Yeah, and under, yeah, okay, yeah, this is the one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think it's in combination with Under Armour. Yeah, indeed.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
And question for Sasha. Sasha, you making notes? Good.
All right. So does everybody know what to do and what they want? Who like? Let's show some fingers. Who is going for a cut? Who wants to get a leaner body? Fingers if you're going for a cut. Good, good. Simone, you're going for a bulk? You want to get bigger? Oh, Simone is like sleeping.
Oh, moment, I've muted my.
Yeah.
So no, I have already amazing six pack. So I will try to get an 8-pack maybe.
Are you going for an 8-pack? Oh, good to
But
hear.
I don't want to lose also this perfect muscles, you know.
So that's I can understand. So that's for a couple of you who are already maybe big builds. Yeah, you've got a lean body and you've got bigger muscles. Make sure to get, when you're on your diet, make sure to get enough protein so you don't start breaking down muscles. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, Simone, eat enough protein for your daily intake and lower your carbohydrate intake and lower your fat intake. So you get leaner but remain with the muscle mass. Okay. Simone dropped out. Okay, but most likely goes for a couple of you. Make sure to eat enough protein so you don't break down muscle. Okay, you don't want to go into a ketatose. I think it's called ketatose state. All right. Any other questions?
I remember last year there was in the month of May there was the body fat challenge. So we had to reduce our body fat, which was of course also resulting in more visible abs and whatever. So at that time, the main source of carbohydrate, the only authorized source of carbohydrates was sweet potatoes. Fuck. And I changed my color. Is it so? I cannot have any other source of carbohydrates than sweet potatoes now again. I mean, this preferably, not what we have to eat. Pasta is not allowed. I mean,
okay. So like last year, what you guys had was a paleo challenge. Basically, eat all no processed food. This time we have basically the app challenge, and we're trying to create a different eating habit by eating fresh food. So for still, you could eat sweet potatoes, but you're also allowed. Wait, let me get a list. A couple of examples are of carbohydrates. Where are they? I think here. So you could eat brown basmati rice. Basically, you could eat rice. Now there's also a lot of different rice. So get a couple of them together, look at the back of the rices and try to figure out which one has the most fiber combined with the most protein and the least amount of sugars added, okay? Then you can also eat quinoa, you could eat oats, you can eat sweet potatoes. From week 2, you can eat fruits, and there's also whole meals. So you can go for whole meal spaghetti or whole meal pastas, okay?
Oats as well, maybe, oats.
Oats, yeah, oats.
Yeah,
you can definitely eat oats as well.
So oats is really a perfect one for breakfast.
Yeah.
Slow release, you feel full, so you have energy. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So you want to try and find complex carbohydrates. This gives you the feeling of being full. These release slow energy, so decreasing your energy peak and giving you a more steady energy level during the day. So try to eat as much. Oh, not as much, but try to eat complex carbohydrates instead of simple carbohydrates, yeah? So no sugar, try to avoid sugar. All right. Other than that, more questions maybe? Someone?
Yeah, and wine is fruit juice, right?
Sorry? Wine is fruit juice. Yeah, yeah, it is. But it also has alcohol, and alcohol is a no-go this month. So
even a beer, a poor beer is considered alcohol, yeah?
Yeah, it's considered
small
alcohol.
One.
Yeah, still alcohol. So no alcohol, Simone. No beers, no wine.
Otherwise, you will tell me off, as usual.
Yeah. More work, less talk, Simone. Jasmine.
Do you have any useful tips for intermediate fasting? So for example, like things that could be helpful that don't also make your body go into like too much of a deficit.
Okay, so with intermittent fasting, for the people who don't know what intermittent fasting is a 8-hour eating period followed by a 16-hour fasting period. So most of the people who are doing intermittent fasting, they eat, for example, from 12 o'clock during midday to 8 o'clock in the evening. And in those 8 hours, they try to eat their daily calorie intake and then have a 16-hour fasting period. Any tips for this would be drink a lot of water. So try to drink water in the morning to reduce or remove your hunger feeling. Try to eat a lot of smaller meals. So instead of a 12 o'clock big meal, which gives you a really full feeling for 3 or 4 hours, when there's only 4 hours left to eat, go for a smaller meal and try to eat every 60 to 90 minutes of smaller meals, yeah? Basically the same as a normal diet, just try to stick it in those 8 hours and try to stay with fresh food so you don't have too much of a sugar and energy spike, yeah? Other than that,
that's really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, and basically it's also really getting used to the not eating in the morning. So if it's so they want you to eat breakfast though. So try to have breakfast. Yeah, you could also make the eat in the morning and then start your fasting period a little bit later on if you really want to intermittent fasting. Yeah, but try to have breakfast though.
Excuse me, Leon, the guidelines Danko has downloaded and printed out,
yeah.
Where they sent as an attachment in the email, because I cannot find them.
Oh yeah, they were sent. Yeah, so we've got where's the front page of this one? So we've got the guide, so the handbook, and we've got the rule book, and both were sent, if I'm right, with the mail. So both were sent with the mail.
Okay, because I couldn't find them. Okay, I'll check
find them,
again.
so they're like
I'll check again.
The mail.
Okay.
Link to both of these was
Maybe
also...
Oh, sorry. Who was talking?
Yeah, I was talking, sorry. The link to everything was also sent when Iris sent an email out with both attachments. There were both links inside, so you can get the link on the email.
Yeah, but maybe you should check with Interpol otherwise, Simone. Europol, if they haven't blocked anything, yeah.
For Simone.
Don't confuse Interpol with Europol, please.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry.
We are competitors.
Danko?
No, we are not competitors. They're way behind us, so don't worry about it. Simone, when you go to the webpage, when you fill all the things that you need to fill, age, whatever, and what is your goal, and blah, 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 then you put your email, but you will not receive the handbook on email. It will be downloaded. I mean, you will receive the PDF on the webpage, so just download it and that's it.
Okay.
They are using your email to send you spam, so this is why they need your email. So
thank you, very clear, Danko. Thank you very much.
Don't put my email.
No, I will not. The Europol one.
Europol one. All right. Any other questions? Everybody knows what to do. Mariska, you have a question?
Now, before they always asked us to also help out each other by posting recipes on the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
You still want us to do that?
Well, if you got a good recipe, or if you need help, have a question, or if you want to help out others, definitely go for it. Post your recipes, post websites where you can find recipes or any other tips or feedback. Definitely go for it and help each other out with it. Yeah? Yeah. Really good. Caroline, you got a question? Or no? Oh, Paul has a question. Yeah?
Yeah, one question. The nut intake is something I like to eat nuts, especially cashew nuts, but I think that's a dangerous one because you easily eat too much and they're fat. They're good fat, but they're fat. So what's your take on that?
So for me, like if you're doing this diet or if you're dieting in general, they usually tell you to take 1 hand of nuts a day. I really like flex dieting for me, and that's where you can basically eat you still eat fresh food and nuts and stuff like that, but if your intake on nuts that day is a bit higher, then you probably during dinner have to cut down a bit more. So you still, you can eat the nuts as long as you stay within the parameters you've set for yourself. So if your daily intake will be 2,000 calories, and you've eaten 500 calories of nuts, it's fine, but you still need to reach your protein level and you still need to reach your carbohydrate level. Then preferably reach your protein level first and then lower your carbohydrate level for dinner or lunch, maybe even, yeah? So try to stick to one hand, but if you go over it, lower your other meals so you still hit your daily intake and don't go over your daily intake.
Yeah, okay, get it.
Yeah, good.
All right, anybody else? Caroline?
Yeah, I didn't get the handout. I mean, I didn't get a second email after the announcement. So.
All right, so we'll send you an email. We'll send you another email, yeah, with the handout and the rule book, okay?
Cool. I always.
Either.
All right, good.
I didn't get
Robin.
it either.
Who was that? Who didn't get it either?
Pardon?
Oh, Mariska. Okay, Mariska and Caroline. Robin, go for it.
The Tanita scale readout. It says it said that you said the calorie intake on that sleeve. It's the rest calorie intake. So, but if you're doing workouts, your
calorie intake is higher.
Yeah. Do you have to take into account those calories as well?
Yeah, definitely. So if your intake, if that's your rest intake, basically, so your daily intake, but if you're working out a lot, your intake will be higher depending on the kind of workout and the style of workout. For example, if you go for an hour of cardio, you usually burn between 700 and 1,000 calories. If you're doing weightlifting workouts of an hour, you usually burn around 200 to 300 calories. CrossFit combines the two. One times it's more weightlifting oriented, the other time it's more cardio oriented. Usually CrossFit workouts burn between 500 and 700 calories an hour. That said, if you go windsurfing or kite surfing for 3 hours or wave surfing even, you burn a lot more. So it kind of depends. What I would suggest is go to Precision Nutrition then and calculate your calorie intake. Vragen ze daar, one second Robin, vragen ze daar ook naar je bezigheden voor een dag? Ja? Okay, so when you go to Precision Nutrition, they also ask about the how your day is. If you're having heavy duty work, or if you work out a lot, and what kind of sports, stuff like that, you know. So, and then based on that, they will give you a average of what you need to take. And if you follow that one, you should be good. All right.
And there is also an app on My Nutrition Plan that allows you to give all that data into the app, and then it calculates with your goal in mind how many kilos you want to lose, how much you should be having calories daily. And then if you combine it with a workout gym app, what I've done as well, then for everything that you do, like any sets of exercises, body pump or CrossFit, then it tells you how many calories, if you're doing it 15 minutes, half an hour, are you burning? So that the other app, because they're tied together, tells you how many calories remaining still you can eat. So it recalculates everything for that day. So it's quite really handy.
Yeah, so that's also for the people who have a, it's called Zoom or have a Fitbit or stuff like that. Yeah, it usually tracks your heart rate, and based on your heart rate, it will track the calories you are burning. If you combine that with your dieting plan or your MyFitnessPal or My Nutrition Plan, or there's a couple of other apps out there, you can get a really detailed way of how you need to eat and what kind of workouts you're doing, how much you burn a day. So if you're using something like that, or if you have it lying around at home and are not using it, this is the perfect time to get it out of the closet and put it back on and figure out what your daily calorie burn is. Thank you, Nina. Any other questions? I think we're all set then. We're good to go. Tomorrow we start with the abdominal abdominal exercise challenge. The first one, we're going to see basically how fit your abs are. And then from there on out, we're going to start the daily exercises starting on Monday. So Saturday we have the challenge, which I recommend you all do because it's kind of fun and it's good to see how strong your abs are. And then from Monday, we start the daily exercises on Sugarbot. And it's really good to figure out what is, and go to Precision Nutrition or MyFitnessPal and calculate what you need and what you want, yeah? Help each other out. I don't know if you guys want to say something. Good. Then I wish you all the best of luck. You should have fun, enjoy it. Paul, goodbye. No sugar, no alcohol. Guys, remember, no sugar, no alcohol, no preserved foods. Yeah, I know, Danko, I know. So no beers tonight, no wines tonight, no beers tonight, okay? No popcorn. Yeah, I know, buddy. Good, Sasha. All right, I wish you all the best of luck. Enjoy and have fun. If you got questions, give us a shout out, yeah?
Thanks a lot. Leon,
Thanks.
Welcome,
Thank
Simone.
you. Have a good evening.
Have a good evening, everybody,
Bye-bye.
and good luck.
Guys, bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Leon, excuse me.
Yeah.
Just one last question. I was
Yeah, sure,
checking
go
the document. No, there's an issue with the picture which are sometimes
know.
covering. You know, so I cannot understand if olive oil in the list of fats, olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, is it considered a healthy fat or not?
It's considered a healthy fat.
Okay, so I can use a little bit of olive oil. Perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Just try, as long as it's virgin, and try not to use too much.
Not to be cooked. Yeah, and then just raw. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right,
that's clear. You will see my 8-pack. You will
I will,
admire
mate.
it.
Okay. Goodbye, mate.
No, you will be jealous.
Bye-bye.
What's up, guys? You're still
recording.
You're still on record.
Yeah, I know. Oh, wait, I need to. Moet ik hem kan stoppen nu toch? Ja. Stopping it. You want to stop? Yeah.